everyone, we are with another model today. Today we'll be talking about the brains. We have two of them over here. One we have with arteries, you can see the red things. And the second one is going to be a more detailed brain, which we'll talk later about. So right now we're going to start on this one. If I remove this part, we will be talking about it later. We don't need it right now. Then we'll be left with something like this. You can see here. And now we're going to place the brain like this, right over here. And just to let you know, this is going to be the frontal part and this is going to be the occipital part. So this thing right here. On number 1, if we see over here, this is going to be called the cerebrum. On the number 2, the whole area is going to be called the frontal axis because it's in the frontal part. And then on number 3, yep, and for number 1 over here, it's going to be the frontal lobe. Literally means the front of the brain. Then in the middle, we're going to have the parietal, which is going to be the middle section. And at the end, we will have the occipital. And if we look into the brain more detailed, then on the sides, we're going to have something called the temporal. And by this, we can easily memorize it as we did back in the bone section. Okay, now we did a quick review of the whole brain over here, you know. Now we're going to be talking about this part. It looks something like this. And now this part, I can also open it. And you'll be left with something like this. A half partial of it. You see? It's going to be 2 separate of them. And just to let you know, this is going to be the outside part. And this is going to be in the inside part. If we see this part right here, it's going to be called the insula. And now if I turn this way, on number 9, we're going to have something called the fornix. And if we see this part right here, not the whole thing, only this part, this is going to be called the pons. Yes. And this part right here is going to be called the thalamus. And this is the inside part of it. This right here is going to be the thalamus. This over here is going to be the hypothalamus. Over here. And then if I zoom in a little, it was like this. If I turn it this way, if I zoom in a little, the 28, it's going to be this one. It is kind of scratched off, but it's going to be the superior collisus. This one right here. I'll also point it for you. This part right here. And now, since this is the upward, if we go down on 29, this is going to be the inferior collisus. So the collisus region is going to be these two right over here. And if we see this part right here, it's going to be called, here, let me try to zoom in a little. Okay, and if I turn it over here, we will see something like this. It looks pink. This is actually called the medulla olive, right over here, because it's shaped like that. I know it does not look like olive or it's not colored like that, but it is called like this. And regarding the pyramid, it's going to be on a diagram. And the first part is done. Thank you.